Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. Today we are going to be taking a look at the 20th Anniversary Emile versus the Halo Heroes Emile. Now there is a third Emile that was from a Mongoose set, I think, but I don't have him, and he is kind of a darker color and doesn't really look the same, I don't think. So we're just going to be comparing these two, but first, let's just take a quick look at each one. So here is the Halo Heroes Emile. Since he is a Halo Heroes figure, he got all of the Halo Heroes treatment, including a painted shotgun, painted knife, all the detail on the chest is done really well. He has the battle damage on his shoulder. He's got the stripe on his leg. That's all the print on that side, and then he's got the symbol on this side. So overall, just by looks alone, this Emile is fantastic. He's also one of the harder to get figures, since Halo Heroes Noble Team is just kind of like, of all the Halo Heroes aside from Series 5, Noble Team is probably the hardest to get. Well, Series 5 and the Honor Guard, but other than that, Noble Team just as a whole, spread throughout all the different series, are just really, really hard to get your hands on. So this guy looks fantastic, but he has the big downside of being really expensive. Now we have the 20th Anniversary Emile. So this guy is not a Halo Heroes. He came from the 20th Anniversary Character Pack, and as a result, he just has a plain black shotgun and a silver kukri knife, which is not bad. I like getting this piece in plain color is cool because then you can paint it yourself, but it does, as we'll see in a moment, look a little bit downgraded from the Heroes version. Other than the knife, the one major thing that this Emile is lacking is the leg stripe. Other than that, he's got pretty much everything the other guy has. He's got his skull on the visor. He's got all of his, what are these, grenades, shotgun shells, something. All that here. He has more red on the forearm, surprisingly. And then the shoulder armor actually is very comparable. I'm not sure if it might be exactly the same. We'll have to take a look in a second. And then he has the symbol on this side, which is printed very, very nicely. So, in terms of the weapons, it's a downgrade, but in terms of the rest of his look, I'm not so sure it's a downgrade. So let's go ahead and take the shotguns off, because we obviously know that they're different. I mean, if you want to see them, one's got some gray on it, the other one's black. I mean, it's not a huge difference. Like, this shotgun is not the most in-your-face painted weapon that's out there. The knives, excuse me, my voice isn't fully recovered yet. The knives, you can tell one looks like a weapon and one looks a bit like a toy. So painting opportunity here, but this knife definitely looks better overall. So looking at the two figures side by side, the biggest difference that I spot right away are the faces. And the visors too. You can see the Heroes Emile is kind of a more pale white gold, whereas the newer version of Emile is a darker, more like warm gold. And I don't know, I like the darker color. It stands out well. You can see actually the gold is darker on the shells too. You can see side by side, this guy's shells are darker than this. I don't really know that one color is better than the other. They both are printed well, and that's kind of the main thing that matters. But the other thing that's really kind of a shocking difference is the skull. 20th Emile has a tiny little skull, and there's not a ton of detail on it. There's some scratch marks, but that's it. The Heroes Emile is a big skull. It covers most of his face, and there's like knife scratches and gouges all over the place, and it's all silver, and so as a result, the skull itself kind of reflects. This guy's is just kind of, it looks almost more painted on. So I think personally, in my opinion, This skull looks better, but this one's not bad. It just looks a little more painted on as opposed to being scratched in. But the size, I don't know, like, looking at it, this skull might be a little too large. This one might be actually a little bit more accurate. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at a picture of Emile in-game. But I was expecting to be able to say, yes, the Heroes version is 100% better and leave it at that. But now I've got them side by side, I really can't say that because they're both good. And I think it'll boil down to really just what your preference is if you want the smaller, more visible skull as opposed to the bigger, more blending skull. Like, this blends into the gold really well. So when you look at it right away, if the glare is in the right spot, you're not going to see it. Whereas this one, you're going to see it as soon as you look at him. I'm curious, what happens if we swap them? So their colors are close. The new Emile head is darker. A little bit. But that's not bad. I did notice something just now, too. The little side piece things here are a little different. One's longer. The new version is longer. Wait, yeah, this is the Heroes version. I had to look there for a second. I think the colors technically are different, or maybe just the head just kind of is darker. I think it's because it's rubber. So you could easily swap them and it would be fine. But like I said, with the part of the head, that really, I think, will just boil down to opinion and personal preference, because neither one is just better. So let's take a look at the shoulder armors. Well, the newer one is less metallic in color, just the color of the plastic. But overall, it's pretty close. Looks like some of the detail, like it's up here, got moved further down on the new guy. But wow, it's pretty much the same. I thought that it was going to be without the silver detail, but no, even the silver in here is more shiny than the Heroes version. So I was wrong on that account. That's actually nice. I like that. They did a good job. And then on the forearms, you can see the Heroes version just has a little line. And this guy has the solid block. Now, I'm not sure which is more accurate. Somebody tell me in the comments which one is more accurate. This one just automatically looks better to me because the printing is so fine and done so well, while this one's just red kind of block. But yeah, I guess it just, whichever one is more accurate. This guy, the 20th version, is lacking the red print on the leg. I'm not sure why they decided to leave that out. It's a little disappointing. The Heroes version is definitely better in that respect. From the back, look pretty much the same. And the 20th version has a better print on the shoulder armor. You can see on this one, they kind of like let it slip down off the edge. This new one is very crisp, clean, and nicely centered, how it should. So that's cool. Point for the 20th version. And then that's most of the printed detail. So we're lacking on the leg. Different for the arm, the lower arm, and better for this guy. Interesting. So at the end of the day, which one of these two is the better figure? I think, just objectively speaking, the Heroes version does win this one by a little bit, mainly because of the painted knife and leg armor. I think that little bit pushes him over the edge and wins him this little contest here. But the 20th Emile is not a bad figure at all. He's better than I was expecting. The skull is a little bit more cartoony, I think, or just the fact that it's smaller makes him look a little bit more cartoony. But it's not bad. I really thought I was not going to like it, and I was just going to be annoyed, but like it stands out. This guy, it does not stand out quite as much. This one, you automatically see the skull, and that's good. That's really good. So, which one should you go for? Well, this is going to be a bit of a surprising answer, but I think neither of them. I think you should not try and hunt down the Halo Heroes Emile, because you're going to spend a fair bit. The 20th Emile, obviously, if you get the 20th pack, if you're lucky enough to get that for a decent price, you're going to get him anyway. But if you want an Emile and you're going to try and hunt down the pack just for him, wait, because the Falcon is coming. And based on the pictures, it looks like Mega did not hold back at all with the Falcon Noble team, and those figures might surpass even the Heroes. So, I would say, don't buy either of these guys. Hold out until the Falcon releases and buy the Falcon. And I think that will end up being the best choice, because you'll even get a painted knife with Emile. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And I'll see you next time.